Hello, I'm Natalie Becker. Welcome to It's Africa's Time. In today's episode, we travel in South Africa to meet two major players, Adcock Ingram and Procter & Gamble, to learn about their inclusive business strategies and commitments to sustainable development on the continent. But before that, we chat to UNDP's Thomas Salez about the concept of an inclusive business ecosystem, how it applies to business, and the impact it could have on Africa's sustainable growth and development.
That there's this concept of public-private partnerships. In the context of Africa, you actually need an additional P. It has to be public, private, and people's partnerships. The MDGs cannot be implemented without the role and participation of business. It is critical to have business because business creates jobs, they create the incoming opportunities, they create the technologies, they innovate. So they are part of the change that we need. First and foremost, we need to support the existing business that prove that. We need to take out the information related to how they worked, what are the opportunities, what works, what doesn't work. Secondly, as it is called by our report, the diamond, we need to look into incentives. In order to get the private sector involved and promoting, we need to put out the incentives in terms of, creating the regulatory frameworks that entice, that create opportunities for the private sector to get involved. We need also to directly government, when they can, support the development of micro business, SMEs, family-owned business. Now, if you want to support business, the critical element is investment. Without investment, you can have, plants, manufacturing, and other activities. So it's important to have the investment there on the part of the private sector as well as in the government, some catalytic investment. Finally, if you want to empower people, these poor people, you have to give opportunities so they can have access in terms of the training, the capacity. So the combination of these four elements of information, incentives, investment, as well as implementation support, those ones will lead to more inclusive business.
We have three regional hubs on the continent, and our main activities follow what we have in South Africa: prescription pharmaceuticals, over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, and our hospital or critical care products, drips, injections, water for injections. We want to be part of the clear growth that Africa will experience over the next 10 years. We're particularly interested in growing in Nigeria because you can't win in Africa without winning in Nigeria, 180 million people. So we have ambitious plans. And what has changed on the continent is increased political stability, which has brought increased economic stability and a growth of the consuming middle class. Consequently, more and more people are getting into the formal medicine franchise. We're also seeing a lot more health awareness coming onto the continent, and therefore your vitamins, minerals, and supplements are beginning to pick up. So the prescriptive medication, health and well-being products. We're also seeing an increase in what we call middle-class diseases, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, things like that. But we're also seeing an increase in smaller pack formats to address the affordability issues on the continent. So instead of packs of 20s, you're getting packs of 2s. Instead of 100 ml cough mixture, 5 ml sachets and the like. Distribution is also becoming a game changer for any pharmaceutical company.
I was working at Adcock Ingram, Wakefield branch, as a tablets technician. I've worked for 19 years for the company.
Adcock's strategy is to own his own distribution direct to customer. Currently, we're servicing 50% of our volume through the wholesale channel, and 50% we're doing direct to our customer. The owner-driver scheme objectives is in three parts. It's for our drivers to empower them to own their own businesses. The other part of the objective was to provide a better service to our customers. The third part is for our stakeholders and our shareholders by investing in the owner-driver scheme over the 16 million rand in the scheme to still maintain the enterprise development points that's giving us the level 3 BEE score at this stage. The other benefit, huge benefit for us on the scheme is obviously cost. In the past we've outsourced the part of the business the owner drivers are currently doing to courier companies, which rates was extremely high, which makes it a more sustainable solution going forward. And that's why we will carry on investing in this owner driver scheme.
Adcock did purchase the car for us because I was not going to qualify as a person to get a loan of 1.2 million or 1.5 million to purchase those cars. After we've paid the car in the 5 years that we have the agreement on it, so the car belongs to us. I've learned how to run a business now, unlike before as a worker.
Adcock Ingram has provided the owner-drivers with training courses on standard operation procedures in terms of delivery, anti-hijacking and vehicle management. They've also received business training from the firm appointed to manage their newly founded companies.
We've got 12 PTYs set up. In each PTY there's a director or owner, and he's got a driver, additional driver, and 2 van assistants. So in that PTY, we've got 4 employees. We've got 25 vehicles. We've got 3 sites running on it. We've got Cape Town, we've got Bloemfontein, and we've got this facility in Midrand. We've spent a lot of time in the selection of the owner-driver, the director, to make sure that they can make the next step from a driver into a business owner. We've had a lot of dealings with Meshack through the negotiations, and we're really proud of him as the individual, managing his company in the best manner.
In the first day when we were notified that we will be the owner-driver that were shortlisted, I couldn't wait to start when do I start my business. It's a huge big difference from being a worker and becoming an owner of your own business. Financially has improved a lot, and it was a big step for us. The lucky one that we were selected. I mean, out of 87 applicants, we were very fortunate to get this opportunity.
The vehicles range from 1 tonners to 50 ton. We also spend a lot of time on the design of the bodies, insulated vehicles, temperature controlled, also with tail lifts, the necessary security tracking systems on it. The owner drivers are very proud of their vehicles, and you can really see they're looking after them.
If you over-revving your car, it will tell you, the speed it will tell you, the idling it will tell you. I mean, you can't go wrong with this car. We get so much support from the company and so much support from the management. The relationship is fantastic. Our aim is to have a bigger number of vehicles within the company to make sure the delivery is being rendered within the time that is required. I'll continue with my business because this is the business I love, this is the business I like. The more you like something, it's the more you learn more. I'm enjoying it.
Adcock Ingram's tagline is adding value to life. So we like to invest in CSI initiatives that are community-based and fundamentally change people's lives. Operation Smile deals with rectifying cleft palates. Children born with cleft palates, in most cases on the continent, are shunned, ostracized, and in the extreme could be killed. So for a very small minor operation, you can change people's lives. And we can't see a better way to add value to the lives of our consuming public. They have a very similar footprint to Adcock Ingram on the continent, so it made sense to actually support them Pan-African rather than just in individual countries.
The stigma associated with cleft lips and palates throughout Africa, obviously in Malawi, largely are associated with beliefs around witchcraft, around children being evil, and that cleft lips are a condition that can cause curses towards other people, and so the children are dangerous to their community. They're socially isolated, and they're often badly abused, both verbally and physically. But the challenges are much bigger than that. Children with cleft lips and palates suffer malnutrition, they suffer ear infections, and many children without treatment also go deaf as a result of lack of surgery. Over the last 30 years, Operation Smile has offered over 200,000 free procedures, and in Malawi we're reaching 400 after only 2 missions. One of the first starting points of a mission is obviously awareness raising and sensitization. The clefts are treatable, because obviously without families knowing that, patients don't come. We run posters, we run radio campaigns, and we have a pre-registration system. Patients are then bused from 26 provinces to the Kamuzu Central Hospital in Lilongwe, where we accommodate up to 400 patients for the process of screening. On a large mission such as the mission in Malawi, we run 6 operating tables, so that's 6 operating theatre teams with plastic surgeons, anaesthetists, recovery nurses, clinical coordinators, and everybody associated with the surgery. But we also bring dentists, speech therapists, child life specialists, paediatricians, intensivists, recovery room nurses, and obviously ward nurses, day nurses, night nurses, and everybody else associated with making sure that children have safe surgery. So a full team is in the region of about 60 people. But obviously, most of us don't speak Chichewa, so we work with up to 60 local volunteers, particularly nursing students and medical students who are looking to train, obviously, to be able to do these procedures in the future. And children are often not able to go to school or gain employment without speech therapy. We bring speech therapists with us on missions, but also on our 6, 12 and 18-month post-operative assessments to give speech therapy and counselling to families. So we rely on corporate and obviously the public for our support. And organisations like Adcock Ingram that provide not just financial support, but obviously product are a wonderful partner to have.